Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to the awesomest, the coolest, the most amazing story to ever.
Darius. What? Your shirt's backwards.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. But as I was saying, welcome to my story. Wait. Okay, relax, okay? See, the reason I haven't posted a video in a while is because of many reasons, okay? I was on punishment, got sick, I got a job, yeah, I got a job. And I couldn't find a game to play with this whack computer. Because as you know, or as you may know, gaming computers cost like thousands of dollars, and I'm like, I'll get my first paycheck in like 3 weeks from now. But I know you mean to be like, Doris, it's excuses. It is, but I mean, they're good excuses, okay? Anyway, if you're here, you know, see gaming videos and stuff like that, check out the other ones. If you already saw them, you don't have to be patient. I was trying to play Geometry Dash, that Cry of Fear thing, but as you see, we in a whole new setup and stuff. It's in the same house, but a whole new setup. So yeah, you know, trying to, you know, I gotta adapt. Anyway, this is about, as I was growing up, I was always in trouble, but I was always imagining this imaginary world of another Darius that was so amazing. It was so awesome, epic tales. I wrote about this and drew a lot about this. But anyway, let's get into it. This is Infinite. We begin at stage 1 of my book. So once upon a time, in 1998, there were these 2 archaeologists. Now they were traveling in an unexplored area of Iceland. It's a little island off of Greenland, and plenty of other archaeologists in the past have tried to go there, as they have seen the skeletons of the past archaeologists there. Now they went inside this cave, right? They went inside this rocky cave that's never been seen before, and above there was a bunch of spikes, and all around there's a bunch of weird, you know, engravings, and there was a bunch of skeletons and rusty metal lying around, as if a battle had occurred here long ago. And you see these archaeologists traveled deeper into this cave. They kept hearing the sort of soft roaring of an unknown enemy in the distance. But they kept climbing. They kept climbing down into the depths. From the cave, there was a hole that they went into, and they went deeper and deeper into an area full of cobwebs. And there was cobwebs and spiders and tons of stuff, a lot of stuff. And they entered this huge room, which no other had entered. They were lucky. Somehow they made it alive. But then they saw these little animals start coming out. They're weird fox-like creatures, and they were strange. You know Tails from Sonic? Yeah. They're like his cousins or something, because they have 2 tails. And they're foxes. But anyway, these foxes, woo, they expanded into giant, treacherous beasts. And the archaeologists, they were just like, what? Now it's time for me to introduce you to these archaeologists. I see the first one, Andrew. Now the second one, Sandy. I mean, these are obviously not actually the names that I picked out. These are just names that I'm just coming up with, okay? Improvise, you know? Anyway, Andrew, he was like, what? What is this? Write this down, Sandra. And then she was like, no, we don't know if it's hostile or not. And so Andrew was like, be careful. And he's thinking about taking out his rifle, which he brought with him because he heard bunches of archaeologists have died here, so now he's got to bring some protection of some sort. He was like, this place is dangerous. Took out our excavation team. And now we know they previously had more people traveling with them. But the cave was so treacherous that all the others had died. Now, on high alert, these two see the fox jump at them. Big fox, freaking like 8 feet tall, huge. Takes out his hunting rifle, shoots it. It disappears. It's like a mirage. It's so strange. So now you see Andrew and how about I call her Sandra instead of Sandy? That reminds me too much of SpongeBob. Anyway, Sandra. They both walk deeper into the room, carefully looking around, and as they see a bunch of these clay engravings. They're incredibly hard to tell what they are, but in front of them they see these giant engravings that is obvious. There's two people that no one has ever seen. Two people with, and as you look down, you see their hand. And now in that hand, they're joined together. And they're holding hands. And in those hands, there's two slots. These are sort of weird engravings. It's like a sort of hexagonal shape, like an emerald. And I don't know if emeralds actually has hexagonal. These two archaeologists see this and they begin to study the place. Wow. Sandra, this is amazing. And she's like, I've never seen this before. We got to take pictures. They're still hearing things in the distance, but now it's just growing louder. Strange noises, shrieks, moans, screams, and then it all collapses. Both literally and figuratively, the cave collapses on top of the two archaeologists who were never to be seen ever again. Now anyway, let's start with me. In 2003, I am born in Kentucky. So I am born, and as I am born, I immediately open my eyes. I open them wide and see the bright, bright lights are being flashed upon me as I see Dad in front of me. Now Dad is a freaking imagine Super Saiyan 10,000. That's what it is. And the doctors say something, and I hear something like, and I try to mimic it. I'm like, you know, babies, they can't understand what, you know, people are saying. Or something so. Babies are secretly like detectives. Like they're like super intelligent, and they lose intelligence as people actually teach them. So it's like a reverse effect. But people are like, we gotta teach these babies, help them grow up, but they're actually already super smart. Babies are not that. Anyway, the doctors, they're like, they say something to Dad. They're like, hey, babies have never talked before. He already has the development in his, you know, big word stuff, to talk. And so then they're like, can we research him and see what's so different about him from the tons of other babies that we've helped deliver? So the parents were like, iffy, but they let it as long as they get to watch. And eventually my parents see, these guys don't really know what they're doing, and it's not good for them to have their baby here. So yeah, they go up. And the researchers, they see something in an x-ray of me, and they go berserk. They try to freaking chase my parents down. It's freaking like car racing stuff. Does not car racing. Like me. I'm just kidding. So they run out of the hospital. And mom's still there about me. And yeah, so my dad carries me to our house, and yeah, puts me in a crib and everything, and then he goes to get mom. Now I'm looking everywhere. I'm looking around. Everything is so wondrous, so big. I mean, just a person, just seeing a person's face, it's like, oh, how big, such a huge giant. Yeah, so I crawl out of the crib and I explore the house. Now, eventually, now we skip a little bit down the line. 2 weeks after I'm born, I can walk. I see everybody walking, and I'm so jealous. What? How? I want to do that. And so I start trying to walk, but my head is so heavy. It's just like in real life, you know. My head is so heavy that it keeps tilting. And I'm like, but eventually I get it right. Now, see, I'm fascinated with the world. I like reading, I like talking, and I just like learning things in general. For the first like 2 to 3 years of my life, I am insanely into books, and at first I'm just reading. Come out of the library, my parents are just seeing all the books that I'm stacking up. And eventually I seen like movies and stuff, all this action stuff, and I'm like, hey, I want to learn to fight. That would be awesome. Yeah. So I would go into the oh shoot. It's like why? How do you do that? It's like YM. It's like YMC. Okay. It's like YMCA. I don't know how you do that. Okay. But yeah, it's like YMCA. Yeah. So yeah, I'll be in the Y, and I would be in the gym, right? And I would always, while nobody's there, I would be either running on the second floor, or running around, getting my energy out, or I would be on the first one, which is a basketball court, and I would be training myself. I'd be looking at videos, and I would be training myself on technique. Now, the main problem was I had a very bad sense of balance. I'd be like, I just kept falling. I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, what was wrong with me? So yeah, I would be like learning the style of punching, and I'd be like, I learned several different styles. One of them was from Street Fighter, which I used to play all the time. Which is like this. It's like this. And you know, this is what Ryu and Ken used to always do. And like, with karate, I learned, you know, the basic punching technique, and then I would be trying to do kicks. Now, anytime sometimes I would just get mad. I didn't know how to do a technique. But then I developed my own style. It's called the headbutting style. Yeah. So you see, sometimes my dad wrestled and played with me. But he's still pretty rough. And yeah, so anytime I would be having trouble, I'd be like, I'm stuck. I'm being the baby. I'd be like, headbutt time. And it would be so effective. And they were adults. And my hand was freaking like harder than brick, harder than steel. And that's for real. You know? It's better than the new Zero. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. So I would be learning in the gym, and eventually I couldn't train anymore at the YMCA because the doctors that I talked about earlier, they found out that we used to always go there. The employees there, they're very nice. They're like, I'm sorry, but you can't stay here anymore because unless you no, you can't stay in here anymore because the doctors are incredibly worried about you. They're worried about your child and his sickness, and we're sorry. But they didn't tell the doctors, you know, where we were, which was good. Yeah, so this is the start of us moving around quite a bit. We moved around a good amount. Anyway, so this is the start of my exploration. Okay, so I used to always explore, right? I used to always whether it be exploring, getting that cereal on the counter, or whether it be trying to get out of the house. I'd be trying to find the keys, and ching, I found them. And then fall on the ground, walk out. And so anyway, I would always go out and explore. Mom and Dad would be like, where'd he go? It's a ninja, so fast. But yeah, and I would always just wander around a bit, then I would come back home. Mom and Dad would be mad. Then I would just go out again. So one time I went out and I was walking, and at this time we were in Indiana, and so I was walking out, and I was nearing a gas station, and I heard something in the distance, and it was, "Leave my sister alone." And I ran to the sound, and I was like, what's going on here? What's going on here? By the way, I couldn't speak that much. Even though I could talk, I didn't even say or process much. I was still, you know, a kid. By this point, I was about 3 years old. I looked around. I saw these big people on bikes, and they were they were holding this little girl who's still very, very little, and her sister was yelling at them. The oldest, an adult with a beard, he punched her, and he was like, "You're a little prankster, you're coming with us." So then the younger one, he was like, "Ain't nobody be doing that. You messing with us. Didn't we already say don't mess with us?" And it was like, "By the way, what's your number?" And she was like, "Ew, leave my little sister alone." And she tries to grab her little sister, and she screams for help. She's like, "Somebody call the police!" And I walk in here and I see them grabbing a little girl, and I'm like, bad guys. So then I walk up and I'm like, "Leave her alone. Take your big thingamajigs off of her." And then they look over, They look around. Then they go back to what they're doing, and the littlest one is like, "Wait, can't y'all see him? He's right there." By the way, there are 4 members of the biker gang. And by the way, the adults and the second oldest are the only ones that are actually allowed to drive. Both of the other ones are legally driving. The smallest one is about 8 years old and still on a motorcycle somehow. And he's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And then the dad, which is the oldest, is like, "Don't worry about us, son. Hey, you better skedaddle on out of here." And I'm like, "Leave her alone." And then they're like, the second youngest is like, "We better get out of here before somebody actually calls the police." We're around a lot of apartments. And eventually, a person from the gas station comes out, and they see what's happening, and they begin dialing the phone. Beep, 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 beep. That's a girl. you remember that from, Mario? Let's go. I forgot what that song is. Oh yeah, it's from Mario 64. And I'm getting off track. Anyway, yes, they began calling the police, and they're like, "Yeah, we should probably get out of here soon." And so the oldest one starts gripping at the little girl who's trying to escape his grasp. She's biting, clawing, everything, punching, and so I run up in there, and I punch his hand really hard. I'm like, and he doesn't like go for her, but he just looks at me in this sort of agitated way. I go up really close and I'm like, "Please let her go." And then he's like, "Lucas, could you take care of this kid? This infant." How old are you, boy? Where are your parents? And I'm like, "I am about 3. And so the youngest one got off his bike and came at me with a kick. Didn't notice. Knocked me away. And I was like, oh. And that really hurt. Good surprise kick. Then he was like, then the oldest was like, "You're a really tough kid. I like that. But leave us alone. You're too young to be involving yourself in this. Unless you want to get killed, that is."
And so,
Hey.
what?
Hey, yeah, it's your future self. How's it going, man? Yeah, it is. How's it going? Hey, man, how's it going?
Yeah, doing good.
You got a girlfriend up there yet?
Nope, sadly.
Okay.
But you look good, man. You look good.
Thank you. You too, man.
Oh, thanks.
I know I can't see you, but I mean, you're me, so I mean, yeah, I know I look good, cause
Yeah, I got you. I just want to tell the audience. Okay? So everybody, I'm gonna have to cut this video short. If you liked it, then run to the like button, follow on the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell. Yeah. Hey, giving it to you, man.
I guess that'll be it for this video.
Yep.
Heard it from the man himself. Well, anyway, thanks for watching. And have a nice day. Have a nice life.
See you, everybody.
See you in the next one.